Welcome to the Lead Every Day show. Our mission is to see a world well led. And our strategy to get there? To empower leaders like you to lead every day. So let's get to work.
What would you have to do to make this next year your best year ever? That's a great question, and I can't wait for us to discuss it today. Welcome to the Lead Every Day show. It's a brand new week. I'm Randy Gravitt.
I'm Mark Miller.
And I'm excited that we're going to get to talk about this. This is a question I actually stole from you. You gave me this question a year ago.
You didn't steal it. I gifted you.
You gifted it to me. We're sitting in a group of people a year ago, and you asked that question, and it's a good time of year to be asking the question again. What do you need to do to make this next year your best year ever? Now, before we get to that, we got Christmas coming up here in a couple of weeks. You done with your shopping? How you doing?
No, I'm not done.
We got all these people to shop for now. All these little grandkids running around, and
Donna's working on it.
She's working on it.
She's been shopping for a while.
She's been
so
shopping.
I think they'll be okay.
You got to cut her
but
off. That's
I
good.
need to. Yeah, I've got more work to do there.
That's good. All right, I know you have been thinking about this next year. This question. To share the question. I mean,
well. Yeah, what would you have to do to make the next year your best year ever? As you know, I've been creating a personal development plan for decades.
Yep.
In fact, the audience doesn't know that you and I are part of a leadership development group. How many years ago did you join us?
I think I joined 13, maybe going on 14 years.
Yeah.
You've been going 25.
We've been together
plus?
25 years as a group.
It's like crazy.
And all of those years, plus my years before that,
Yeah.
it's just been part of my personal discipline to build a development plan for the upcoming year. And the conversation you referenced, I guess it was last year, I just wanted to be sure that we were giving this assignment, this opportunity to create a plan for our year, the attention and focus and thought and discipline that it deserves. I mean, there are many things in our lives we don't control. We know that, and we talk about those all the time. But we have so much agency and we have so much opportunity if we'll be thoughtful, if we'll be planful, if we'll be strategic.
Yeah, we're gonna spend the next couple of weeks talking about this, and I think this is huge. So it hit me a while back. We're thinking about this next year, where we're going to go on vacation. We got all the kids and grandkids and everybody. We're going to the beach, and
you're gonna need to rent a hotel.
Well, I'm telling you, we need something pretty big. It's right. But I go back to last summer. So we rented this house on the beach. A lot of
big
fun.
house,
a big house.
A lot of kids, a lot of grandkids.
A lot of grandkids. Everybody's running around. More coming. It's fun. It's all great. But it hit me at some point. Like, we had to make reservations. We had to, do we have enough bedrooms? Do you have, floaties, or we're going to put those in the car? Do you packing the red pepper? I mean, we're driving to the beach, and it's like, we're going to make our own meals. I mean, if you're going internationally, you go to Italy or something, they'll have the red pepper. You don't have, there's things you don't have to think. But the bigger the trip, the more you start planning. And it hit me, how many leaders spend more time planning a week of vacation than they do a whole year of their life? It's incredible how many leaders are just sort of winging it when it comes to their life, just day after day, going through the motions. And if we're not careful, we can forfeit a lot of opportunity and even influence.
Well, and I would even push back a little on the whole idea of winging it. And I understand that, but I think it's worse than that. Daniel Harkavy has been my coach for a long, long time. He's the guy who founded Building Champions, a coaching company. And he wrote a book with Michael Hyatt a few years ago about this topic. And they talked about drift. And I think drift is a little more insidious, because when you're winging it, at least you're engaged. But if you're just letting whatever happens, who knows where you'll be a year from now?
Yeah.
I want some confidence that I will have grown and I will have developed and I will be better positioned to add value to the people around me.
Yeah.
And I think planning is a strategy to make that a reality.
I think one of the things that when I think about what I would have to do, if you missed those episodes, go check those out. But I think we have to, some of us, we need to slow down. And there's probably some people who need to speed up. And it's just all in between, right? If we're not careful. And some people need to focus and narrow the focus, and some people need to expand their focus. I mean, it's just, you'll have to answer these questions if you're listening for yourself.
Right.
But if you don't think about this and put some time on it. We're going to unpack it and give you a plan.
I mean, we're going to spend 10 days on this
topic. We're going to spend the next 2 weeks before Christmas. It'll be our little gift to you. But, some people, you probably need to restructure, and there are people who will need to change something, and some people need to think differently about their time. I mean, it's going to be a fascinating conversation. Can't wait to dive into it. But one of the things you talked about there with drift, the quicksand, all that stuff, I think complacency also gets in the way. I think sometimes we had a pretty good year where we got paid every 2 weeks.
Things are okay. It's good enough.
We can afford to live indoors. Our kids get to keep their braces, whatever it is, And the next thing you know, we're just kind of going through the motions, and I think that's dangerous.
Well, I think it's hugely dangerous. I think it was Nick Saban when he was asked about Auburn, if I'm not mistaken.
Auburn and Georgia both, actually.
And he said
they had beaten. This was a couple of years ago. I heard him. They had beaten them both back-to-back weeks.
Yeah. And he said they weren't the competition.
They asked him, how does it feel to beat your two rivals? And
he said they're not our rivals. It's complacency.
Yeah, complacency is our rival. And I think for every leader, what are those places right now as I'm starting to think about my next year? Where did I get complacent this last year? Where were those places that I didn't lean in like I should have? Maybe I'm like the leader we talked about a couple of days ago. He came up at the end and said, I've taken my foot off the gas. Is there a place where you need to re-engage? Maybe it's, let's go back to, we also talked about the 5-speed in third gear. There's a place where you need to level up, and you don't, the truth is there are people listening who have Ferrari in them. It's not like some 5-speed Toyota. It's like, no offense to Toyota. Again, they've sold a bunch of cars, but there are people here who have Ferrari in them, and it's like it would be a shame for you to go through this next year and not even attempt to be at your best.
Well, our buddy Jason Jaggard. Yeah, he shared a question with me recently that has got my wheels turning, and he said, "What are you capable of?"
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Great.
That feels like that's something worth thinking about.
Yeah.
And then if you can articulate that, then what do you have to change in order to pursue what you're capable of?
Yeah, that's so powerful.
That's a
great.
Good question.
So these next few days, that's what we're going to be talking about. And today I would encourage you to really do some reflecting over this last year. We'll give you another opportunity to do that as we go forward as well. But think back on this last year. What are those places in your life where you're going to have to make some changes if you want something better? Better is available to you. Different is going to lead to better, though. You're not going to get better by just doing the same thing that you've done. There's places in your life right now where a plan is going to help you. It's going to enable where you're trying to go, enable you to go where you're trying to go. Without a plan, I think you got a really good shot of just drifting along. And you say all the time, no one drifts to greatness. You gotta be thoughtful. You gotta have a plan. You gotta have a strategy to get there. It's what we're gonna be talking about these next couple of weeks. Share the episode with somebody today. If you have a chance to have a conversation with somebody about what is it that you want. Those are a couple of questions I asked as we were meeting with the guys just the other night. The question, what do you want and why do you want it? That might be a good starting place for you as you think about this next year. Please do not spend more time planning a week of vacation than you do a year of impact. It's going to be a huge opportunity for you. It starts with a plan. I hope you'll come back tomorrow and learn more about not only becoming a better leader, but becoming a better leader with a plan. Remember, the best leaders lead every day.